Hey guys, Courtney Epps here for another episode of What's Your Plan B and Why You Would Be Brain Dead Not to Own a Home-Based Business. And I have here today Benjamin, and I'm so excited that he's joining us today. So, Benjamin, if you could just share with everyone kind of, why you got involved in home-based business, what you do on a daily basis, and, just share with us a little bit about your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name's Benjamin Notini. My background is that I'm a college dropout and I'm a single dad. I'm 26 years old, and my daughter is about to turn 7. So I was extremely blessed, at a young age.
Oh, you're muted, Benjamin.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're got. I can hear you now.
Phone call came in there. So I was just extremely blessed at a young age to have my daughter, and the biggest reason I consider my daughter to be the biggest blessing of my life is obviously the relationship there and the love that I have for her is amazing. But at a very young age, I was kind of forced to look for alternative routes than what most people were doing. I was going to school, I was enrolled in college and just working, just like working, going to school, getting my grades. And this thing happened, and it made me ask myself, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do next? What am I going to do for the rest of my life? And, that's actually when I got introduced to the home-based business arena. And I've been involved for the last 7 years. It's definitely changed my life, just from the conversations and the community that I've gotten around. Things like like what you represent. I've been taking advantage of the tax benefits of a home-based business owner since I was 19 years old. So I've had I'll never forget. I did make over 6 figures. The first year I made 6 figures in the industry. I paid, like $500 in taxes. And, I was 21 years old. And, it was something that nobody in my family, my brothers and sisters, I have 12 siblings. So I'm one of 13. And I'm the 5th oldest. And, my oldest sister is a doctor. My other brother went to United States Air Force Academy, computer engineer. My other brother's a doctor. My other sister's an attorney. And, I'm a community college dropout. But, none of them have made 6 figures and then only paid $500 in taxes for it. So,
Exactly.
we all have, so there's a lot of amazing things. And, for me, my day-to-day now is, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've evolved from, obviously began in the home-based business arena, and I've been able to translate that success into a couple different businesses now.
That's awesome. And, what you just said is so true. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. And, I remember when I was in high school, I actually told everyone I'm going to be a doctor from the time I was 5 until I was 18, had a full ride to college in Charleston. My parents bought me a house, and, I was going to live there. And in 5 years after high school, I was going to be a doctor. And, I made a decision not to go. And, I think my parents probably thought I was crazy at the time. And I made a decision based upon, because I fell in love with a guy and decided not to go. Fortunately, I have 6 children now. So, it's been truly amazing. I'm not with him anymore. But, what I looked at and my definition of success for people was to make a lot of money. And the thing I learned is that by being a doctor, like I could make $250,000 a year or $250,000 a year as an anesthesiologist, but I was only going to bring home about $130,000 or $140,000 a year of that because of the taxes. And so many people just have no understanding that, when you are a W-2 employee, you literally pay 40% of every dollar that you make in taxes.
Yeah.
And when you combine and get this is nuts. And you may or may not know this, Benjamin, but W-2 employees will pay more in their lifetime on taxes than they will on food, clothing, housing, and transportation combined.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. So tell me, like, I know you got into the industry. A friend shared it with you, or how did that happen?
Yeah, it was geez, I was 19 years old, and
Oh,
Carolina.
we
Oh, can you hear me just
You're
fine?
good. Yeah, I heard you say you're 19 years old, and I think Benjamin's. There we go. I can see you now.
Let's see here.
I can hear you.
How is that? Is everything
Yep,
reconnected there?
you're
Okay,
good. Yes,
amazing.
I can hear you.
Um, so I'd moved around a little bit during high school, and I was living in North Carolina. I was originally born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, and my cousin who lived in Massachusetts uh, messaged me and told me that he wanted to get on a Skype call. A Skype call back in 2013, early 2013, and he told me that he just wanted to share a concept with me, something he'd been introduced to, something he was excited about. And I had no conception. I had no introduction to the home-based business world, or the network marketing arena. So I completely ignorant as to what he was suggesting or talking to. I said, hey, yeah, let me hop on and let's talk about it. And he and another friend shared with me the concept of what they were doing with this company by partnering up with them. And for me, it made a lot of sense, and this was how it was broken down, right? There's three major parts to every business. There is providing the service, there is collecting the money, and all the merchants in the back end, and then there's the marketing and the advertisement. And we have an opportunity to partner up with a company that's going to pay us if we successfully market and advertise their products. And what's amazing is there's no cap in the income we can earn. There's no, it's a performance based model that doesn't cap you. And at a young age, I was looking at, I'd always been interested in owning a business. I had seen some of my uncles own businesses and become very successful, and I knew that most people who were financially free, financially wealthy, and not just financially wealthy, but had time freedom as well. They had businesses and investments. And so when I looked at this, I said, well, it's so expensive to start a traditional business. I can start this business for a few $100s. And if I go to work and I do this concept of sharing and promoting and talking about these products, I can get paid to do it. And that was kind of how I got introduced to it. I mean, it has been a crazy 7 year, almost 8 year journey for me inside this industry. But it has been so rewarding, and a lot of incredible things have come from it. And even what you just said, I learned because of this industry. I learned at 19 years old that taxes would be my largest expense. I learned that at 19, and this is something that nobody ever told me in school. My parents had never mentioned this to me. Nobody had ever brought me to the side and said, hey, by the way, you're going to spend more money in taxes than anything else in your entire life, right? Nobody ever, it was just something that had never even dawned on me, until I found myself there, in a seminar for this company. And I was being trained at a young age on how to uh, successfully, and how to do it the right way, write off expenses, on my 1099, on my taxes. So when I saw this, I was like, at like 19, 20, I was like, I'd rather make $50,000 a year working from home than $100,000 a year working for somebody else.
Yes.
Because if I have to work for somebody else, one, 40, like you said, 40% of that money is out the door. And then at the end of the day, there's only about a 10 grand difference. And I have to be on someone else's schedule someone else's time. I have to show up when they say to show up. I can't leave till they say I can leave. I can go to the bathroom when they let me. I can take vacations, a couple times a year if it works with their schedule and their parameters. And and for me, being a single dad too, and not being with the mother of the child, when I have my daughter, I have a joint custody of my daughter. When I have her, I want to be able to spend all my time with her, right? And so this is at a very young age. I was like, man, I'd rather make $50,000 a year working for myself than six figures working for anybody else. So I consider myself very lucky to have been put in the environment to understand these concepts at a young age. It's truly changed my life. And it's kind of crazy, because when you start to recognize these things and you just know these things, like when someone shows you a fact, right, and it is just you understand it. Well, what's interesting about society is, I'm operating off of this belief because I've seen something different, I've heard something different, I've been around a different community and environment, and I'm making decisions and actions based off what I know. But unfortunately, most of society is not introduced to these concepts, these ideas, these ways of living, and so when they see you make decisions or they see you make moves in life, you're going to be criticized tremendously because people can't relate. They don't understand why you would do one thing as opposed to another. And it's simply because they haven't been exposed to the information. So, I always say that a closed mind is the most expensive thing you can own, because, a lot of my friends had a closed mind and weren't even willing to go to the same seminars or workshops that I went to that I learned all this information in. I have friends who could have came with me those same weekends and sat in the same rooms and listened to the same people and learned the same concepts, but they didn't. And it's kind of crazy to see how it all pans out, 7 years later.
I love it. And, and that's one of the biggest things I just recently here at my office. I paid for a Tony Robbins event. So I'm a platinum partner with Tony Robbins, and, it was 10 grand for business mastery. And I invited, I actually at UPW a couple months ago, I invited my whole entire staff, and only 3 of them even came to the event and wanted to be a part of it out of 25 employees. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is an event that somebody would have paid 3 to 5 grand for, depending on the tickets. And then business mastery, I made it a requirement for that my managers had to be here. And I ended up firing 2 employees that week, and 2 quit, and 2 asked to come back, and because they wanted to be a part of the culture. So it was super weird, like having that event here. It was a 6-day event, and I was able to see who were managers. I was able to see who were leaders, right? People that truly could lead, and people who were managers. They were just saying you need to do this, but they just weren't really enacting that. And those were the ones we let go. And then, and then you see the ones who really are committed, the ones who want to change their life. And then you see the ones who don't in any way want to change their life at all. Because if you said, hey, I got a couple billionaires that I'm going to have and come and teach you how to get where they have gotten, and the only thing you need to do is listen, and it costs you nothing, you would think everyone would jump on that bandwagon. But people don't do that. And so that's why we have different types of people, right? That's why we have different personality types. We have people who are very content with being employees. We have people who would never be an employee. And then we have business owners. And then we have entrepreneurs. We have massive entrepreneurs, like serial entrepreneurs. Like, I love running my accounting practice. I don't know if I want to run any other accounting practice or any other business for that matter. And so the great thing is that when you get involved in network marketing, I was in network marketing. I'm not anymore. And I'm a tax strategist. That's what I do for a living. But I fell in love with the process of being able to teach people how to get to where you have gotten, or to be able to go to someone and say, hey, can you just teach me and share with me what you're doing? in order for me to be better at what I'm doing. And they're willing to do that because they financially benefit from you.
Right.
And the other aspect of that is the sales role. You know, I've been in sales prior to network marketing. I was involved in sales. And the thing is that there's nothing else that allows you to have there. Let me step back. There are a couple things that will allow you to have a residual income, but the way the situation works with network marketing is that you share something with one customer and they go share it with customers and reps, and then they share it and they share it and share it. You then continue to make money off that person forever if they continue to work or they continue to sell product. And it's very hard to find a relationship that you can do that in the sales market. You typically are getting paid one time for whatever you sold that one time. And then if you want to sell more and make more money, then you have to go sell to someone else. So, you know, I love that aspect of it. So tell me, you know, what is your favorite part? Which to me, there's a whole lot, but it's more like personal growth and development. But what is your favorite part of being able to? Is it having conversations with people, helping them to take another level? Is your personal growth and development? You know, I was able to build my accounting practice directly through the network marketing industry, indirectly, really, with zero advertising and marketing. So what is it about network marketing that you just love, like you can't live without?
The community.
Yes.
You know, we're big on um, giving people their basic needs, and fulfilling those for people. And uh, you know, you had my business partner Julian on before, and in a previous episode, and he and I started our organization. Um, you know, and it doesn't matter what company we're in, but the name of our team is Ohana, and it's just because it's about family and community, and that's what we are looking for, because in reality your network is your net worth, and that is a little tagline there that I hold that as close to my heart as possible, and I believe that. um and the it's let me give you this example, right? And this is why community, because there's a whole lot of really cool things you can do when you get a lot of people together. For instance, we started a political party in Florida, in a matter of a week. And the reason we were able to do that is because of our community. Because we had 75 people who all registered underneath a brand new minor party here in Florida, we were able to submit that and get registered as, you know, now one of the 10 minor parties in the state of Florida. And you know, as the reason we're able to do something like that is based off the fact that we have a community of people who can come together to accomplish things. And money is fake. Like, money's not real, right? At the end of the day, it's only worth what it's worth because you and I agree it is. And you know, some currencies have come and gone, and the US dollar is not going to be here forever, and something else is going to take its place. And you know, how we decide how we transact with one another will always evolve and change. But when you have a community of people and you have people who have each other's back, you know, that's where the real value is for me and Julian. And that's what I'm surrounded by amazing people all day every day, and that to me is worth it. I would be happy doing what I do right now if I didn't have a dollar in my pocket, if my bank account was negative, if my credit cards were overdue. I'd still be happy and excited about what I get to do around the community of people every single day. um, and you know, that's just, it makes life so much better. You know, it makes life so much better when you have awesome people to go through the journey with. So, you know, I think it's awesome what we do in this industry, because I see people who, especially in times like right now, where people may have been isolated for a long time, quarantining for several months, or sometimes we'll do little events here in Florida, and they're safe events. People have masks, and everybody has the ability to social distance, and it's all good and grand. But when people come, it is like the highlight of their week, because they're coming to an event and they're just getting to socialize and connect, and they're getting around some of their favorite people. And just being able to provide that space for others is, for me, so rewarding in itself. And it comes back tenfold in ways that you would never imagine or anticipate. And I'm involved in several different businesses besides, the home-based business industry. But all of that has come from my community and my network that I've created through this industry. So I've been able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars outside of this industry, but only because of the community I built in the industry.
I love it. Yeah, and that's it. And that is crucial. That is really when you realize that at the core of it, we spend more time working than we typically do doing anything else. And the people that we work around, we need to be able to enjoy. And if we don't enjoy them, we shouldn't be around them typically. And so, that's one of the things that I have really, really learned just, recently by being a part of being a Plat. And guys, if you haven't figured that out, like you've got to have a culture of people, you've got to have a community of people that are like-minded individuals that you can go be around. And I never would have known about personal growth and development had it not been for the network marketing industry. And I'm so grateful for that today, because at the end of the day, if I didn't get anything else out of network marketing, if I didn't make $1, and that was not the case. I mean, I hit the top 1% in 2 different companies, but it was the fact of the matter is that I got the personal growth and development, and I was able to indirectly build my accounting practice while I was building my, while I was building my mindset back up, because I felt like I failed. I actually lost a business about 10 years ago, put it up for sale, and the guy stopped paying me, and I was $250,000 in debt. And what ended up happening is that destroyed me. It broke me for a little while. And so personal growth and development is what got me back, but it also got me around a world of people where it's like, you can fail, but you got to keep trying. And so we've been able to build a multi-million-dollar accounting practice now because of that, because of the skills that I learned. And now we're developing that culture. We're trying to do the exact same thing like a network marketing company, right? So we develop the culture of people that want to be around us every day, and that just makes our life so much better. So talking about, just going back to talking about taxes, you brought up the fact that when you were 19, you made $100,000, you paid $500 in taxes. And so many people believe that there's some sort of unethical, unmoral, illegal aspect to that. But guys, I want you to understand this. When you are a business owner, you make money, then you buy most of your needs and wants. And if you are in the network marketing industry, here's the cool part: continuing education, personal growth and development, your meals when you go out to eat and you're talking to someone, your cell phone, your internet, business use of your home, travel, because you're always constantly growing and trying to talk to new people. All of that, even hiring your kids. So I don't know if you have your child on payroll yet, but I mean, man, think about your parents. If your parents had been in network marketing, they could have wiped out like 13 times 12, that's like $140,000 a year that they would not have had to pay taxes on. So, when you think about that, it's like there's so many opportunities in the network marketing space, and there's so many legitimate, moral and ethical and legal ways to free up more money in taxes, but you have to move out of the system that was created to steal your wealth. And that system is the W-2 employee system. And here's a last bit of statistics, and I want Benjamin to just take it away and just share what his last and final thoughts are. But what transformed and changed my life in sharing this concept, I went from being a fractional CFO to a handful of companies, and that was the route that I was going to take for my accounting practice. And that was the fast route to making lots of money. but it didn't help the masses. And so what I wanted to do is I heard some statistics by Grant Cardone. It said that the average household in America makes 60 grand a year, and they're going to pay $14,000 in taxes this year. And that leaves them with a take home of $46,000. And from there, the average cost of living in America is $53,000 a year. So that means that the average W-2 employee household family of four is going in debt $7,000 a year to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year to take 2 weeks paid vacation. And when I heard those statistics 2 years ago, it stopped me dead in my tracks. And I shifted my entire accounting practice. And I said, you know what? I know without a shadow of a doubt that I can help someone save between $4,000 and $8,000 a year just by having a home-based business. And I started creating content in order to help people understand, like, I don't care what it is that you do. It doesn't matter to me. I don't get benefit from you joining any company, whether it's network marketing, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether you decide you want to do your own thing. That's perfectly fine. What I'm saying is if you find something that you're passionate about and you can open your mouth and just share with people, you're guaranteeing yourself to be better off than you were. So you're going to save between $4,000 and $8,000 a year. And by doing that, you can truly start transforming your entire life. Because if you don't have the money, I mean, then what? I mean, like, money isn't everything, but the thing is that you've got to have money in order to survive in this world and to provide for your family and to create a legacy and to create an impact. So, what, just share, what's on your heart, Benjamin. Just, what would you say to someone that may look at the network marketing industry and say, you know what? This is a scam. This is crazy. Like, or I can't do it. I think there's a lot of, somebody says this is a scam. It really says most of the time, I can't do this. So I'm going to put that in my mind that it's a scam so I can push it off. So what would you say to them?
Well, I'll address that. Let me revert back to one thing where you said, people think that you're doing something shady when you're getting all this money off on your taxes. For me, the majority of the money I saved was just in gas.
Yes.
Each year alone was, 55 cents on the mile, and I was driving a whole lot for my business. And so, it's funny because you say, just little things, driving, from city to city every other day, just be, it's you can save money just by keeping your gas receipts, nothing unethical there. And for me, I would say my experience is that most people love network marketing. The ones that don't have either just been introduced to a company that doesn't fit them, doesn't fit their needs, doesn't fit their lifestyle, doesn't fit their wants, doesn't fit their interests, or they've been introduced to it in an inappropriate way that makes them feel like it is an inappropriate business. Because the greatest thing about network marketing is that anybody can do it. Yes. The worst thing about network marketing is that anybody can do it. So, you have to keep in mind that when I come across people who have a negative stigma, I try to just keep in mind that they have that stigma for a reason. Either it was embedded into them from somebody else, or they had a personal experience that just may not have been great. And I can understand that if somebody was introduced to this industry in the complete wrong way, then they may have a negative stigma to it that needs to be overcome. And so for anybody watching this right now who does feel that way, my biggest recommendation is, if you're sitting here saying, man, I'd love to join one of these businesses so I can get these tax benefits and do what these individuals are saying, but I just don't see myself getting involved. There are thousands of companies, network marketing, home-based businesses. Do some research and figure out which one makes sense for you, your lifestyle, your family, and which one, resonates and connects. Because just because you were introduced to, Amway or Herbalife or one of these big companies, 20 years ago, and it didn't fit your needs, it didn't fit your desires, it didn't fit your wants or likes, and maybe you were introduced the wrong way. That doesn't mean that anything that, it doesn't mean that you can't find a company that's perfect for you and find a situation that makes sense for you and take advantage of all these things that myself and Courtney are talking about today, and get on the other side of that the cash flow quadrants, right? And start
Yes.
saving, go from being that W-2 employee, that, that individual who's spending 40, 30, percent a year in taxes, to somebody who's on the other side spending very little
Yeah.
in taxes, and bringing home a lot more, because and like I said, when I was blessed to learn a lot of incredible concepts at a young age, and I would say one of the most powerful ones is it's not about what you make, but it's about what you keep. And
I love
I appreciate everything you're doing, Courtney. I admire the work, as someone who's been in the industry for 7 years. To be someone who's not involved but still an advocate for the industry, and knowing like, hey, I might not be attached or tied to any one company, but this is a concept inside of here that people need. I commend you for that, and I appreciate you and thank you for that. I think our whole society would be a lot better if there were more people like yourself out there just pushing these types of ideas, so that people can just become aware.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the biggest the not knowing, can cost you a lot of money. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for just creating this space and helping people figure it out.
Well, you are welcome. I, commend you guys for what you do and being out. I have done presentations. I remember doing presentations at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Like, as often as somebody would show up, I would do a presentation. And I remember what that was like. And I remember being an accountant and me trying to explain to someone, like, this is the smartest thing you can possibly do. If you don't make $1, you're still saving $4,000 to $8,000 a year, as long as you're attempting to earn an income. And the sad part is as accountants, and just so you are aware, and you can share this with your audience afterwards, we don't learn strategy at all. There's none. I went to college for 5 years. I have an equivalent of a master's degree in accounting. I I worked for 3 CPAs before I started my own accounting practice, and I've been on my own now for 18, 19 years. And not a single accountant, not a single class is on strategy. There's no continuing education classes on strategy. So I didn't realize how beneficial having a home-based business was until I was actually in a home-based business and did a tax return for someone who was a W-2 employee. And I didn't learn that you could save the average person $48,000 a year by reading it in a book. I learned it by preparing 900 tax returns for people inside the network marketing industry who were W-2 employees the year before. And I was able to show them, but I wasn't doing it because, I would literally say, I'm not going to be an accountant next year. You probably don't want to use me. I was that person. I'm like, I'll be doing network marketing full time. You probably need to find another accountant, because I hated it. And I was so good at it, but I just wanted to talk to people. And so now I get to do that. I became very, very good at what I do. And now I just get to talk most of my day. And then I have to review every tax return that comes through, but that's irrelevant. We're not talking about working today. But the thing is that I did these 900 tax returns to keep people inside network marketing long enough to win. Because I knew if they stayed in long enough, if they did the things, they just opened their mouth and talked to people and share, and they would go to the events, they would get the mindset that they needed. They would get enough personal growth and development for them to go out and actually become successful. And so I would do their return and say, okay, this is where you would have been without the network marketing business, whether you made money or not. And this is where you would have been, this is where you are with it. And that's how I determined that I could save someone between $4,000 and $8,000 a year. And that was powerful for me, because as a business owner, I did not know that people did not know this information. And I knew it first as an entrepreneur and second as an accountant. So if you go to someone who has told you as an accountant, no, you can't write that off. Tell them to prove that to you in tax code. Tell them to show you in the tax code where you can't write off business use of a home, where you can't write off your travel, your meals, your mileage, your cell phone. And guys, the last thing I want to share with you, one of the biggest myths is that having a home-based business will trigger an audit. In 19 years, I've only ever had one client audited, and that client was a hairdresser. So 75% of my clients own home-based businesses. They claim business use of their home every single tax season, and they have not been audited. So I just want to share that because there are so many myths that impoverish our country and are costing you massive tax dollars that you could be using to go on a vacation with your family, to create a legacy for your family, or just to do whatever you want, just to blow it, or be able to put it away one day for you to have a massive retirement. And that's what's happening. So we just want to educate people. I appreciate you, Benjamin, for going out every single day and sharing the network marketing industry and how amazing it is. And I thank you so much for being on here with me today.
Well, thank you, Courtney. I hope you have a great day.
All right, guys. Have a great day.